And welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. Making a love connection happens online more than in person these days. So it can be difficult to know who you're meeting, who to trust, who that person truly is. The dating app Tinder is now unveiling a new feature for subscribers: background checks.
They will allow you to do background checks, right?
That's right. That's right. A background check, so you have an idea more who you're going to meet, who this stranger actually is, and you can deem whether or not that's the right, that's another thing that helps you decide whether or not this person's right for you.
And we're not talking about everything in a person's background. We're talking about maybe a sex offender or someone who is convicted of a violent crime, not your traffic citations and stuff like that.
There'd be no one on the app if that was the case. So,
well,
yes,
for those, David, with your personal security academy, what advice do you give people to be safe in dating situations, and particularly using these apps now?
Yeah, so we have to remember these people generally are complete strangers. We know very little about them. So we have to be on guard regarding that. We have to think about those things. So you have to make them earn your trust first and foremost, right? Person may seem very nice at first, but again, just because they're a nice person, you've had a good time, maybe you've had a drink or two, doesn't mean necessarily that you are safe. So one of the number one things I say on a first time encounter with someone is set a time limit. Let them know in advance, hey, I've got this other commitment in an hour or two to meet up with some friends. Next, I think ultimately you do want to have a way to protect yourself. I mean, you can do everything right up here and have a set plan, but ultimately you could be put in a situation where, hey, you want to call for help with a personal alarm, have a way to protect yourself, perhaps with pepper spray. Trust your gut. If something doesn't feel right, it probably isn't. And hey, maybe it goes away on the first date, but it might show up again on the fifth date, and you're in a more dangerous situation as now things are getting further. Now you're more isolated. You're not out in the public, and that could be very detrimental.
Any other tips out there for those who may be going on those dates and not really know the person?
So something that's becoming very popular right now in bars is this safety word called angel shot. Okay, I was talking with some other colleagues in my space recently and found out about this, and it's starting to get a lot of coverage. And what that is there's signs hanging up in women's bathrooms that say, hey, if you're uncomfortable, you're meeting a stranger for the first time, and you feel like you're trapped, you're having a hard time, go up to the bartender and use that word angel shot. It's becoming popular in the industry. They're going to help you by either calling for Uber or rideshare, walking to your car, if necessary, even calling the police. So, it is possible that someone could put, on the date rape drug or one of those chemicals into your drink that takes, that obviously would be very problematic. You may not be able to give a long explanation to the bartender. You say that word, they know something serious, they can look out for your benefits immediately. And you should always let your friends know where you are. Right? I mean, I think that's a big important thing. If you're moving from one location to the next, you want to let your friends know where you're at, where you're going, so that they can intervene. They can come, they can call someone to come to help you, or they can go there as well too. Those things I think are very important as well.
Absolutely. So David, for people who would want more advice from you or any of the other tips that you may have, where can they find you?
Yeah, sure. So you can go to personalsafetyexpert.com. You can learn about the personal safety classes that are available. I'm with the company Sabre, and we make a smart pepper spray that will also notify your friends of your exact location, which I think is very beneficial if something were to happen to you. And last piece that I'll give, Isaiah, that I think is important for your followers is don't let that person know your address the very first time. Again, make them earn your trust. So again, get a ride share. But don't let them go home with you take you home the very first time, because now they know where you live.